Now we're going to ask any of you that would like to ask a question of any of these candidates. Who would like to be the first one to ask a question? Yes, you'll have to come up here.
Me?
Yes. You're right here. Ask your question.
I want to know from Todd Tiahrt. Are you willing to swear that you will vote to repeal the Obama health care bill?
Yes, I am. And I'm a co-sponsor of a bill that Steve King from Iowa has that does an outright repeal. And I think we need to do things about health care, but Obamacare is something that is entirely the wrong path.
I'm with you.
Right now, I think we did repeal it. President Obama would veto it, so we have certain things that we're trying to defund, like the 16,500 IRS created in the health care bill. And we're trying to do that in several different ways. Thank you for the question.
So you defunded in November and you get in there? You defunded in November and you get in there?
We're going to actually try to defund it this fall if they'll ever have any committee meetings on it. We had one opportunity. They'd schedule a committee meeting, and we had to give them our amendments, and I had an amendment to completely repeal it, to defund the IRS agents, and to defund some of the regulations, and also to eliminate the 52 programs that weren't paid for in the president's budget. And they canceled the appropriations committee meeting. So I don't know if they're going to have it this fall, but we're going to try to do it this fall.
And then in 2012, you will vote to repeal it?
If I get a chance, I will.
If you get an opportunity, if we put you in there, you will do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Roger.
Way to go. Someone else with another question.
I was here late, so I didn't get to hear if you had a stance or not. But I want to know how you feel about the present law that they're trying to pass down in Arizona with all the boycotts against Arizona and everything else. And I would like to know how you stand as far as what Kansas' stance would be on the illegal immigration. I know that some communities up in Nebraska have actually gone by themselves against the federal government, against the state government. And I just wanted to know how you felt about the illegal immigration issue.
Well, I think the Arizona law, it should be supported. I support it. And keep in mind that it is the same as the federal law, with one exception. They have added a provision that says you cannot racially profile. So it's just what they've done is they've given their state military, state policing officials the same ability to arrest somebody for being here without legal status as what the ICE people, the Immigration Control Agency or enforcement, Immigration and Customs Enforcement people have. And so I support what they're doing, and I think Kansas should support it as well.
Someone else have another question?
My question's David Powell. You talk about the Obama healthcare plan and everything, and I would like to know, have you read it?
Yeah.
Unlike our assistant commissioner said the other day, I have read all 8,000 pages. Now, that is both bills, the House and the Senate bill before they became law, and the Obamacare law, and then there's also a reconciliation law. So it's approximately 8,000 pages. And as was said several times, it is not about health care reform. It will not reduce the number of uninsureds. It will not reduce your rates. It will not help the citizens of Kansas, and it will not help the state of Kansas itself. So I appreciate the question. Our assistant commissioner said, why read something that is going to be repealed in a couple of years? My thought is we need to replace the assistant commissioner as well. Because if you don't read that bill, how can you enforce it for the next 2 years if we have to enforce it? So, I want to mitigate the negative impact of Obamacare until our new senator over here can get it repealed and create his magic in the finance department or finance committees to unfund the 16,500 IRS agents and anything else that we can unfund until we can get it repealed. Thank you.
Another question.
I don't really have a question. I've just got a statement to make. Sue Boldra over here has struggled, and she said she hasn't spent near as much money as her competitors have. One thing about her that we can promise the 1st District of Kansas is we can completely kick one politician out of Washington, D.C. I don't have a perfect count on how many there are. I've read it, and my wife will tell you I'm terrible at memorizing things. But however many there are, if she gets up there, there'll be one less politician up there. And that's one thing that turned my vote.
Someone else have another question? Yes, Brenda.
First of all, thank everyone for coming this evening. I'm sorry we didn't have a better turnout in Salina. My question is for Sue. Sue, you represent District 1, which is a big district, and I just want to know what you think the number one thing is that we need to do different for District 1 that we've had in the past. What one thing do we need to do that we need to change in our district? Do you think it's foreign policy, illegal immigration, healthcare? What's your first thing that you think you need to tackle when you get to Washington?
I have a whole laundry list of things that we should do. And I know healthcare and cap and trade is really big on my list. But another thing that I think is important, and I'm not sure how we do this, unless we use term limits and some other things like that, but we need to find that American spirit. I think our bankruptcy goes far deeper than dollars. I think we have bankrupted our children, and they don't understand the American spirit. They don't understand the idea of hard work. Kansas wasn't built on the backs of politicians. She was built on the backs of farmers and ranchers and people in transportation and energy and small business. And those are the things that we need to try to keep our children home, to create jobs out here so they come back. For 30 years we told them to get a good education and spread your wings and fly, and doggone it, they did. And they haven't come back. But I think if we change, if we find our Constitution again, if we have to do that for the state, I know that no legislator is going to vote for term limits. So it has to be a constitutional amendment. And yes, there are two ways in the Constitution to make an amendment, and one of them is through the state. So that's how we pass the 27th Amendment. So we can do this. And we can get 38 very strong Tea Parties in 38 states to get this through. And we need to somehow bring our children, our young people, to believing in America, to knowing that America really is a Christian nation. And we've lost that. I'm not sure how we attack it, but I have a number of ideas. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Yes.
I was wondering what you think about our education system here in Kansas.
The question is to Sue about our education system. What does she think of it?
Number one, we have to get the federal government out of it. There's nothing in the Constitution about education. It's part of the police power of the state. Number two, I'm not sure what those state legislators are going to do with school financing, school funding. But I can tell you that as an educator, we do it really well in Kansas. Our students are always in the top 10%, usually in the top 3% on every national test. And we've done that for a long time without federal intervention. Kansas, local communities, local school districts educate our children. We know best how to do that.